Hello, World's Best. I'm at Wantarai Shrine. This is one of the temples in Cambodia that the Shrine I really like. It means grace or splendor, and I thought I'd use this opportunity to answer the questions that you'd asked and learn a little bit more about the Book of Holy Parrot. The question is, what inspired me to be an author and how did I find my voice? And it was actually largely touring places like this that I found a lot about world religion, world spirituality, and for me, I think it goes way back to even when I was a child. I remember in primary school, I was brought up in a Catholic school, and we had religious education, and they were telling us about Adam and Eve, and so I asked what I thought was a simple, honest question: are we meant to take this information literally about Adam and Eve? Because I had been watching documentaries, and they had a different version of history and our life on Earth. And so I asked the question of the teacher, and she was so disturbed by it that she actually called the principal in, and the principal had to answer the question for her. Now, I actually don't remember the answer to the question, whether I was meant to take it literally or not, but I now know that I guess there's a lot of politics in religion, and then I obviously went on to study science and became a chiropractor, and then, of course, there's a lot of politics in science. So I felt, okay, so now I've seen aspects of the world where we are encouraged to believe certain truths by people with, I guess, interests. And so that helped me find my voice. I wanted to share an idea that there are multiple voices, there are multiple possibilities, and on a relative basis, there's multiple truths. Of course, there must be absolute truths behind the whole thing, but I think in the human experience, we're only really accessing the relative truths, and this is one of them. So this is a Hindu temple directed to Shiva. Where is he? He's over here, I think. So there he is. That's Shiva up there. And I think this was built in the 10th century, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm in the Siem Reap's province, so anyone can look this up and see. There he is there. That's probably a better shot of him. And we'll move on and answer some more of the questions. So in finding my voice as an author, I realised that there were so many different ways of trying to express what people believe as being the ultimate reality. So they've come up with their stories, like we have in Hinduism behind me, and all those stories are meant to represent the greater mysteries. And so I thought I would come up with a story which reflected all those mysteries and trying to bring them together with their common purpose. These temples are the Eastern Mebon on the Grand Circuit outside of Siem Reap in Cambodia. The question that I'm answering here was, who are the literary influences? And the answer to that, really thinking about it, is that Joseph Campbell really made a massive influence in my life, I believe, because he was revealing cultural stories. He wasn't talking about so much the individual stories that people like me are telling, but more the stories that lasted for millennia or epochs. And it's fascinating to see how in different cultures that they would develop different themes that seem similar, even though that they were separate from each other based on the available information at the time. And so when Joseph Campbell was telling us the stories that of the cultures around the world, it made me want to bring those stories together in one story, if at all possible, and that's what resulted in Holy Parrot. The second major influence, which probably influenced this work of Holy Parrot, was the work of Isaac Asimov, because he introduced the idea in his foundation series in iRobot of the 3 laws of robotics. And I thought, well, how interesting would it be? It was like the 3 laws of behavior. How interesting would it be if we had those 3 laws of behavior in humanity? And so I thought about it, and through Holy Parrot, came up with the conclusion that the 3 laws of humanity, and they are choices, they are programmable choices. So it's something that you actually have to honour because you choose to. And they would be the choices of compassion, connection, and creativity. And it would be a fascinating thing if people around the world are taught in schools and taught in our cultures that our primary values, our primary conditioning should be to make sure that everything we do embodies the spirit of compassion, connection, and creativity. And so, leaning on Isaac Asimov's The 3 Laws of Robotics, I thought I would look into perhaps what could be put forward as values for humanity moving forward. And those values ended up in Holy Parrot. This is the Ta Som temple built in the 12th century in Siem Reap province in Cambodia. The question I'm answering here is, what would you advise aspiring writers? I think I would suggest to aspiring writers that don't be too concerned about the whole believe in yourself, have confidence, you'll make it, because that sort of comes at the other end. I would actually suggest that the most important thing is really have something that you want to say, and then really don't be too attached to the outcomes of what it is that you want to say. Be more attached to making sure that what you want to say is well said. The thing that you're going to find, and it's so endemic in society, is this idea that you should feel inadequate. And then if you feel inadequate, then people can sell you stuff. So just accept that you're going to feel inadequate about your writing and just sort of get on with it, because that feeling will go once you realize that you can do it. And then I wish you all the best. The question is, what projects am I working on and what's coming up? Before I answer that question, I'm standing at Angkor Wat. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. We've just had the sunrise here, so I came up here in the dark, but we'll go in there in a minute. But the projects that I'm working on coming up, I've got about 10 projects slated, I guess. Because I've got a background in music, theatre, film, and now novels, I'm probably going to work on somehow bringing the 3 together. So I always work on a script when I'm ever telling the story. And then I'm seeing if some of the scripts I'm going to turn them into musicals, which would be a bit of fun. And then continuing with the novels. I do have one graphic novel in place at the moment, which is the Bring Me to Life project, which is on the website, which is www.angelsleap.com. And you can check out some of the pages of the graphic novel there. And other than that, I'll keep working away and keep touring. I'm going to head into Angkor Wat now and see what it has inside, what treasures are there on offer. I'm at the Ta Prohm Temple, and this is where the strangler figs tend to take over the temple, and it's a beautiful look. And I wanted to do the last video here, which is answering the question, how do I feel about winning the award from the Chrysalis Brew for Multicultural Book of the Year for 2024, which I'm very, very grateful for. And of course, I think that is the ultimate feeling, that it is gratitude. And I'm very happy that they were pleased with the book and wanted to award it. And the other aspect of the question was to ask, how has the award impacted me? And I would say that the best thing about winning the award is to say that it really helps you understand that what you're doing is on track, that people are appreciating what you're writing. And then, of course, when the judges choose your book, then it gives the readers confidence to know that your project is worth reading. And I encourage you to read Holy Parrot. It's something that took me 4 years to write. And so now I'll work on the rest of the projects. You can follow what projects I'm working on at angelsleap.com. And I'll also be posting the rest of the journey via that website. Thank you again.